In this video, you're going to see the future.
Hello, you awakening wonders. Thanks for joining me today for Stay Free with Russell Brand on Rumble. Thanks Timcast for the stream. That's Timcast and Tim Pool. That's the name of his podcast, of course, were before us on Rumble. They've sent their community our way. Russell Brand acts like a cokehead, says A. Steve. Do I act like a cokehead? I mean, I used to take quite a lot of cocaine and crack and meth and heroin and LSD and methamphetamine and ecstasy and marijuana and cannabis, as well as pharmaceutical drugs. But now I'm lit up only by the Holy Father and the ever-present Holy Spirit, available to us now through the conduit outside of time that exists in every single moment. The problem is we live in cultural systems and institutions that anchor us and tether us almost religiously to the material. How are we gonna get through that, guys? If you're watching us on X, enjoy yourself over there, but come on over eventually. You on YouTube, you guys come on over, click the link. I want to say hello to our entire community. On Locals, we've got plenty of friends over there, like Mrs. CMS. There's a lot of squabbling over here, a lot of squabbling on the Rumble chat. Kyle Jones and Orion Spectral, you quarrelling with one another? You can free speech in there. Free speech yourself senseless. Free speech yourself into the middle of next week as we try to tackle a variety of contradictory perspectives on reality. Let me tell you this. Is that cocaine train thing real? Macron, my man, Keir Starmer, is it a tissue or is it an envelope? I'm asking you that in the chat. Have things significantly improved since Trump became president, or is he as those on the left, and I'm not even talking about the institutional media left, the radical bohemian left, say, an oligarch? Is Elon Musk's involvement in government a kind of massive data capture? Do you believe all of this, or was it the reclamation of America that the campaign suggested and that the movement claims as its raison d'etre? That's the whole point. It's a tissue, says McNamara's. It was sugar for a spot of tea, says Terry Green. Well, let's jump into it now. Certainly there's an appetite for us to not trust our leaders. I'm very reluctant to trust Keir Starmer because I see him as precisely one of those leaders who alters his opinion in order to appeal to the electorate, or at least the media's understanding of the electorate. And he's done that on the subject of immigration and migration. We'll be covering that a little later. We'll be looking at Trump's enormous announcement that American drug prices are now going to be controlled, and war within Maha. It's a Maha civil war story. You know, that for a moment there was unity in that aspect of the party. Underneath Bobby Kennedy, numerous people who were, broadly speaking, focused on health and spirituality had an alliance that centered around brilliant people like Casey Means and Callie Means, and also innovative thinkers. Thanks, Stephen Crowder, for the raid, Mug Club. Remember, if you get Rumble Premium, you don't only get access to me, although you get full access. You can ask me any questions in the Rumble chat or in the Locals chat. You also get additional content from Tim Pool and Steve Crowder and Glenn Greenwald, and you can speak as freely as you want. By the end of this, we're going to come up with a sensible appraisal and perspective on the Macron, Keir Starmer cocaine train. We're going to come up with whether or not the changes that are being made under Maha, Bobby Kennedy, within Pharma, under Trump are meaningful, or is America being turned into a different type of Bernie Sanders style oligarchy? It's an oligarchy and a onesie, baby. First of all, let's get into this thing. Starmer and Macron deny that they are getting groovy on the cocaine train. Let's have a look. So this is from the Telegraph, a British newspaper that's somewhat reliable on some issues. Emmanuel Macron has denied bringing cocaine onto a train headed to Kiev for a meeting with Vladimir Zelensky. Certainly Zelensky's name's never been mentioned in connection with cocaine. Have you ever seen him dancing around in them sort of red veils? Have you ever seen him sort of like kissing his own biceps? Have you ever seen him playing the piano with his penis? Have you ever seen Zelensky's outrageous claims like, I'm going to get you, Putin. Now listen, don't you disrespect me in the Oval Office. I'll take you down. I will beat you senseless. I'll pummel you, so I will. Like, he's an unusual dude. And I feel that cocaine's involved. I feel like a lot of leaders are compromised. I'm always reluctant to believe anything because I know that if you were to go into certain chats right now, people would just go, "You're a rapist." and I actually know that I'm not a rapist and have never raped anybody. So I have to be very discerning about information. So why don't we look with our own eyes at this video evidence and decide, is it a tissue or is it a cocaine wrap, baby?
It's a long walk. I'll be back in Poland.
Who's old Longshanks? Who's the tall dude in the powder blue top? Powder blue being the appropriate way to define that colour and this trip. Keir Starmer, as soon as I see him, look, this is what I feel. I don't want that person in charge of a whole country, certainly not one that my children were born in. I don't want him in charge. I don't feel deep loathing, antipathy and murderous rage. I don't feel like, like you're deep within you. There is a warrior, there is a priest, there is great power connected to God and nature that you need to summons up to confront corrupt power. Like, I don't feel like that Keir Starmer, he needs to be sort of flayed. Like in a sort of in Britain, you can still go to the place where William Wallace was hung, drawn and quartered. It's Smithfield Market. In the same place, Wat Tyler out of Essex, he was the leader of the peasant revolution. That's where I'm from. And he was murdered in the same place. All great leaders of the working class are pilloried and murdered one way or another. And sometimes in reprisals, like in the UK, we'll chop off Charles II's head. You can probably go to the spot. I'm not exactly sure where Charles II was beheaded. For a while, Oliver Cromwell was the leader of the Protectorate of the United Kingdom. He put his kid in charge, eventually like a lunatic. He went to Ireland and was, murdered a bunch of... the fact is that when you see people in the media age we live in now, you see how flawed they are. You see the kind of ludicrousness of that amount of authority and power being granted to flawed individuals. Whether or not you think Keir Starmer is evil or Macron is evil, you've certainly seen images of Zelensky and Macron prancing like tits, to quote With Now and I. And the idea that they have the power to gerrymander and manipulate election results, to command massive tax bounties and send them into unwinnable wars seems ludicrous. In a way, we feel like we want more unity. On a global level, there's a requirement for unity, a common fraternity of mankind. But also there is a requirement for more tribalism in the terms of we need more subsidiarity and more control in communities, stop aggregating power to the degree that we are and allowing people at the top of those power structures to lead us into war and profitable endeavours. When even if they're not taking cocaine on trains, they're so plainly just normal guys, just normal people, just normal middle-aged men that this sort of would be plausible that they are taking cocaine. Oh, yeah, I should have a cheeky line. Oh, let's have one up the snout. No, I'm done. Let's have a look at this.
Back in Poland.
and through my bathroom, huh?
It's literally. We came through Germany.
Yeah.
And then we made it to France.
German bedroom and
we got through the border.
Right.
So that's Merz, isn't it? That's the newly elected German leader who, again, required manipulation and curtailing of the rising populist vote of the AfD. When we see these fellas, what you see are a bureaucrat class that lack the kind of pungent, visceral potency that a chieftain or tribal leader would once have had. And I think we can see them as like shadow men, hollowed out shadow men, that probably a line of cocaine might do them good.
It would be a lot of a drink.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
On va bien.
Now, Macron did hide that, but you would hide it, I reckon, if it was a tissue, if I was going to be in a photograph. Elise is a bit of sort of French, a French outlet. When European unity becomes inconvenient, disinformation goes so far as to make a simple tissue look like drugs. This fake news, coined by Trump, that phrase, never forget that, is being spread by France's enemies, both abroad and at home. We must remain vigilant and against manipulation. But even if you don't believe this story, do you see Macron as the leader of France, like the representative of the spirit of the French people? He is speaking for les gilets jaunes. He is speaking for the French farmers. He is speaking for those that are concerned about the borders of France. The spirit of France, the France that had revolutions, the France that threw out Napoleon, what France is he a representative of? Let's have a look. It gets a little deeper. This is, I think, a more modular, molecular and microscopic look at the footage. Oh, yeah, and it's got Clapton's Cocaine in the background, so we can enjoy that. That's a very, very good piece of memeing right there. There's a sort of AI footage of these little nerfs enjoying themselves, these little Swinburnes, these little twerps. I think we can all enjoy that for a moment, can't we? That's very sort of sweet. Now, what is the actual issue here? I suppose the issue is a total lack of trust, a total lack of authority, a sense that the elites that govern those countries, France, Germany, and the UK, of course, left the EU. Why are we even involved in these kind of negotiations? They're on their way to meet Zelensky himself. No stranger to the sweet white lady. Himself, no stranger to those days and nights laying down rails and telling tall tales. Do you remember, this again, I suppose, became popular, this clip of, what's her name? Jacinda Ardern. She was one of those leaders during the pandemic period that was super keen to crack down, to lock down, even though she was a leader that was meant to be a representative of liberalism, freedom. Liberalism has come to mean maximal coercion and control. And there was footage of this kind of conduct from her.
Sweet moustache. You'll be right. You're probably out of shot over there. Okay. Everyone's ready to go? Great. Who wants to kick off?
Our systems seem to be bringing to the very forefront leaders that are insufficient. $10 says they don't have to worry about fentanyl in their cocaine. Yeah, it'll be good coke, that, mate. It'll be good coke. If it is coke, it'll be good coke. It'll be reliable, decent, fluffy, Christmassy, delicious cocaine that feels nice on the way in and beautiful on the way out, that clears the pipes beautifully. Zelensky is advocating for a peace deal. Trump, in some ways, is delivering on these extraordinary claims made in campaign that peace deals would be brought about almost instantly, like he was going to literally bang people's heads together, or not literally, actually, metaphorically bang people's heads together. India and Pakistan have been brought back from the brink after he says they were getting a little hot and heavy, and it seems that Zelensky is willing to meet Putin. He's also signed an executive order that's going to massively control drug prices in the UK. Tell me what you think is the most important of these stories. Peace between Pakistan and India, controlling domestic drug prices for Americans, or finally, this Thursday, Putin and Zelensky could be meeting. Indeed, maybe Macron, Merz and Starmer were there just to drop off a couple of bags, get him hyped up and pumped. Yeah, I'll do a meeting with him. I'll meet him on Thursday. I'll meet him. And then on Friday, oh no, man, I don't want to meet Putin. Putin's scary. That guy was in the KGB. He'll kill me. He could kill me. He could kill me with a bicep. He could kill me with an angry index finger. He could get up the back of me. He could puppet me, that Putin. Sort of the cocaine that you take on Thursday might lead you to make decisions that you'll regret by Friday afternoon. We're going to look at all those stories. We're going to get into all of it. Trump's promising something big. We now know that what that was is the pledge to curtail and control drug prices. Finally, let me know what you think about that. And here's Joe Biden on The View. What is Joe Biden doing now? What is this peculiar media tour about? Is he trying to undermine the Democrat Party? Is he trying to claw back some personal dignity? What's he doing? I do find him now quite sweet and cuddly. Let's have a look. I almost wish I was a 7-year-old girl so I could get my head sniffed by him.
The projects, the benefits. How do you lead the world without having the best infrastructure in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best healthcare in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best education system in the world? How do you lead the world when you don't have that done?
Yeah, okay. I didn't understand that. Congressman Tim Moore. Before we get to Tim Moore, let's see Biden claiming that he would have won. The giddy claims of a pugilist with a bout not fought. I would have won. I could have done him. I could have been a contender. I could have had class. Well, did you see Tate fought like 60 guys? Did you see that? That's pretty interesting. 60 guys. It's like the Andrew Tate equivalent of the Betty Blue dogging or our friend Lily Phillips there, God rest her soul, God raise her soul, God cleanse her soul. She's very much alive, too alive, I bet. Like, while they're effing their way through the internet, Tate's punching his way through it. Let's have a look at, before we get into that, let's see Biden claiming he could, he's like the kind of lion out of Wizard of Oz saying he could beat Trump.
Well, Mr. President, you had previously said that you thought that you would have won.
Tate didn't fuck 60 guys. He fought 60 guys fully tanned in a row. He didn't. No, it's not a Bukaki party. Tate wasn't tossing people off. He was fighting them. Would have won.
Since then, Donald Trump won all the battleground states and made inroads with almost every major demographic, from working class voters to Hispanic men to black men. Knowing what you know now, do you think you would have beat him?
Yeah, he still got 7 million fewer votes.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people didn't show up. Mm-hmm. Number one. Number two, they're very close in those toss-up states. It was it wasn't a slam dunk, and look, every time I've been on the show, which I've been fortunate to be on more than once. Thanks for having me. Is that we talk? You guys.
That's a boring interview, like, isn't it? It's boring. Like, have you ever been? I've been on that show, The View, before, and the atmosphere. You can hear the air conditioner while he's talking. You can hear the air conditioner. People are embarrassed.
We talk. You guys don't focus on as much, and I think it's good on polling numbers. But let me put it this way:
what's it like being inside Joe Biden's mind? I wonder. What's it like in there? You know, have you ever watched someone, the senescence set in? Have you ever watched your grandmother deteriorate, implode, fall within herself like an aborted baking project, collapsing like a damned souffle, the memories falling inwards, just endless forgottenness as a person disappears inside themselves? You can't have that as a guest on The View. What you want? Razzmatazz. I'd like to see someone like Tim Dillon on there, a live wire, lighting it right up. You can't have that dear old Joe Biden deteriorating inwardly. Okay, this is interesting. This is Tim Moore revealing that under the Capitol are a network of tunnels.
So this is one of the neat things about the U.S. Capitol. Of course, this building, construction started in the 1700s. And there are all sorts of little hidden passageways. You saw I just pulled this cover up. Yeah. And you can see if we get...
Because the problem is we're so little trust in our leaders now that when he does that, down there, we got like Jeffrey Epstein's left me a couple of 16-year-old girls down there. I'm going to leap down into those catacombs. Now, I'm not suggesting that individual congressman, Tim Moore, is doing that. I'm just saying that our general perspective and stance on power these days is so sort of deliriously antipathetic. We don't like them, do we? I don't think, this is nice, you're giving me a tour of your office. I think, you're a pedo. There's kids down that hole, isn't there?
See if we get the camera to come over, don't fall in. We don't need a workers' comp claim today. But you can see there's a passageway. These are long stairs that used to be.
That terrible noise. Why can't I hear the Eye of Sauron sort of zooming and shashing and farting down that hole? Terrifying stuff. Listen, we're going to have a quick word with one of our sponsors. Wherever you're watching us, stay with us. We're going to be back with Trump's big pharma moves. We're going to be talking about my country, Keir Starmer's moves. We're going to be talking about a potential peace deal between Putin and Zelensky. Stay with us. Free speech is under attack, mine particularly, yours and everybody's, whether it's British government officials demonetising people on YouTube, putting people in jail for Facebook posts, or the various other ways that nefarious systems and institutions that work, I reckon, for Satan, drag us down into the pit. We have to fight back. And how are we going to fight back? Rumble. You know, when you first heard of Rumble, you thought, what is this little organisation? You thought about Royal Rumble, didn't you? You thought about a rumble in the jungle. You thought about a rumble in your tumbo. But now we know that Rumble crumbling as the sweet tectonic plate shifting towards free speech. And if you get Rumble Premium, you don't only get great content creators like old Rusty Brandstein, AIPAC supported Zionist, you also get Mustafa Brandajahad. He loves Islam. Also, you get old Russ. He loves Trump. And then you get Russell. He's a big fan of Kamala Harris. How many people do you need on one channel? You gotta get it. Not only do you get me, you get Mug Club with Crowder. You get Glenn Greenwald. He broke the Edward Snowden story. What do you want from people? You get Kim Iverson. And there are also many people on there that are Jews, gays, blacks, whites, lellas, trans people. Dr. Disrespect, he's got to be gay. Is he? I mean, we've got everyone. Chris Pavlovsky, there's not a donut he won't dunk. Claudio, he a bit Italian. We got great people at Rumble working just for you to make sure you get free speech, the sweet taste of freedom sluicing around in your gums. When major advertisers conspired to pull their dollars like Dunkin' Donuts, they said that Rumble had a right-wing culture. Well, that can't be true. Let's have a look at just some of the posts here. Rumble is a lily-livered place where gays and Zionists, as well as queers and trans plus folk, can get together. And that's from Steve Bannon. Look at this here. I come on to Rumble to do my flower arranging. That's from Tommy Robinson in the UK. Look at this. I come on here just to look at men in tight-fitted denim hot pants. That's from Don Trump Jr. All in the Rumble chat. This is a free speech conduit where you're free to be whoever you want to be. Look, you can say whatever you want in the comments, like lick me out my stoke hole. You can't sniff that on a Wednesday. You put that 5 knuckles deep, baby. Hey, Benjamin Netanyahu.
You're always going on about Benjamin Netanyahu.
The Houthis are coming. The Houthis are coming. How many people must be Clinton to death? You can say whatever you want. Socks, the White House cat's even killed itself. Chelsea Clinton, how's she surviving with them parents? It's all available to you in the Rumble chat. For a limited time, you can get 10 of your American dollars off, and you can use crypto, baby, using the promo code AIPAC. No, using the promo code BRAND. Visit rumble.com/brand and get your discount today. Together, we can turn the crimson tide of foaming propaganda and stay free together. Click the link. Ask yourself a question. What do you expect from an artist these days? Do you want them to challenge you? Do you want them to light you up? Do you want them to move you closer to God and to the divine? Do you want an artist to pose questions to you about the nature of the civilization and society that you're living in? Indeed, is it a civilization? Let me know. Which artists do you think these days, whether they're comedic, musical, theatrical, actually challenge you and invite you to ask questions? Because I think we've gotten kind of used to the commodification of art. The point of art used to be to elevate the divine, to bring you closer to God. Nowadays, art is a commodity. That's what Warhol made us confront. I would say that Kanye West is an artist on that basis, a great artist on that basis, an artist that kind of drags you into all sorts of uncomfortable territory. Let's have a look now at Kanye West's latest advent, his latest incursion into the culture. This is a man who cannot be cancelled. This is a man who cannot be contained and controlled. If you're watching this on YouTube, hey, we're going to have to leave you now, because the fact is this: Kanye West's art cannot be shown on your platform. Now, I feel like, with the kind of best will in the world, I'm not down with anti-Semitism or any kind of racism or anything that's ultimate aim is hate and division. But I do believe that you should be able to decide for yourselves what you watch. So click the link in the description. Come on over to Rumble. We're going to analyse Hail Hitler, N-word. I don't use that word because I've explained to you enough times. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. Let's get into it, baby. Yeah, don't take inches off my winkle. Don't you take an inch off my winkle. You leave that winkle inch right there.